It's been so long since I talked to you. It's nice to hear your voice.
I feel like so much has happened since we last spoke. I mean,
I
we
know, right?
constantly text, but since
True,
the
true,
last
true.
episode, so much happened.
It's kind of, yeah, like, yeah, I don't know where to start, to be honest. But I did put together, like, if we really wanted to go down the interview process kind of, I did put together, like, a little bit of, like a list of things we can ask each other. I thought that'd be kind of cool to try.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you wanna.
yeah,
I'm
we can do
looking
that.
at. Yeah. But first off, do you
Right.
want to give a quick update on what you were doing the past couple the past couple of months? Like, oh my
So the
God, where
life
were
of the
you?
yeah, the last time we spoke, I was in Scotland. That feels like so long ago.
Yeah, it's
Um,
true.
so now I live in the very south of Germany. I can see mountains, not from my window, but around the house. I can see them
You can see what?
when I
Sorry.
go in the mountains.
Oh, mountains. Oh, I misheard that. I was like, I can see ghosts, and I'm like, what?
No, I
I
saw
would be
that last
worried.
night when I was watching a documentary about ghosts.
Oh, really? What kind of podcast?
No, I was watching some stuff on YouTube because I was
Oh, YouTube.
investigating a haunted building for writing.
Oh, that sounds fun and scary. I hope it
Yeah, we
wasn't
talk about
actually.
that later.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Oh man, anything else you want to give us an update on? No updates is okay too.
No, it's just that alone is such a massive update.
True.
So yeah, with change of work, how health is going, it's not completely fine, but I can do a lot more things than I've done last time.
Sanity
So I'm pretty
intact.
proud was so I'm very proud of myself,
Mm,
and a lot of
as you should
changes
be.
will still keep happening.
Yeah, that's true. I am proud of you. I'm proud of you for being able to do all the things
Oh,
you're
you
doing.
did so many things in the meantime that I'm so proud of.
No, I mean, yeah, but I think a bit of both. Yeah, I mean, today, like specifically, I was like, I wish I had more energy today, but it was still really fun. I actually had a chance to meet up with my friend Alex, who we're working on a Harry Potter-esque YouTube
Hmm.
channel for, so we made a howler together. Together. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Jeez, it worked out pretty well. So it's like a howler puppet. But
Can't wait
anyway,
to see the video.
yeah, it will be some time, I think, until it actually has a preview. But we are
Hmm.
planning on putting that together at some point. Yeah, that's one update out of many things, I suppose.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and the weather's
There's
getting pretty warm.
actually, oh, that would be so good for you.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just thinking there is now a Harry Potter exhibition in the larger town where I work.
I am so jealous of you because I just found out about that. I was like, oh my goodness, you can go.
Yeah, but my sister already was when it was up at her place,
Hmm.
and she said it wasn't so good. It was feeling really empty.
Really? That's probably because
And
you weren't
for
there.
no, no, she meant with the exhibition, what they were showing and all, that felt
Oh.
super empty, and for a price that was really expensive when you
Oh.
were expecting something a lot better than that.
I do hear that there's the Chamber of Secrets door though, so that might be pretty cool to take a look. Possibly?
It's nothing is very solid in it. Everything is like flopping around, and so my sister was like, "Yeah, the only thing that you get to do is holding a wand and running
Wow.
it through some mist that disappears, and but it doesn't make a difference whether it's with your wand or without the wand.
Oh, that's too bad. It sounds like the Willy
Yeah.
Wonka AI experience that they had somewhere in the US or something, right? Have you seen the meme
Well, I heard
with
that
all the depressed people?
I had the worst one was in Glasgow.
Oh, which one?
There was the Willy Wonka one as
Oh,
well,
wait, wait,
where
wait.
it
We're
was
talking about the same
all
one. Sorry, it's not
apps.
US.
Might be.
Sorry, I got that confused. Yeah, must be that one. Everyone looks so depressed and sad.
Well, so the pictures from my sister looked a wee bit better, but less people.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Okay, maybe it's not that worth it. But still, if I were there,
Yeah.
I would probably go anyway, just to see what it looks like.
I
But I
think I will
am
be saving
jealous.
up for money for one day going to London.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose the Warner Brothers tour over in London is probably a lot more
Yeah.
better and fun.
Yeah.
They say it's a little bit different from the Japanese one, so that might be cool to visit too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like I'm saving up money for everything right now. I don't even know where to begin.
I know what you mean though.
Because moving, I have the bare minimum of furniture, and I'm falling asleep on my chair all the time because I
Oh.
can't really lie down because I don't have a couch or anything. Yeah, but that's
Ah.
fine. I'm mourning on a very high level. I do, I know that.
Oh.
But yeah, it feels very empty, and with all the boxes still around, and they will not disappear for months. And at the same time, I'm really missing Scotland, so it's hard at times.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm sure you'll be able to get all the stuff that you need eventually. Unless you want to actually move back again, but you know, it's a bit of both,
But
I guess.
the thing of why I moved hasn't been solved yet. So, and I also have
Yeah.
no money for moving.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man, the conundrum.
I don't know how I fill this place, pay
Mm-hmm.
back my parents who helped me with the first stuff getting in here,
Mm.
and saving up for our holiday next year and for the baby plan. So I don't know how do I make the money.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, bit by bit, to be honest.
Yeah, that's always the case.
Yeah, yeah. You'll figure it out. You always do. So I'm sure it'll
Yeah,
be totally fine. It just takes time, I think. But one of many
yeah,
ways to fix that problem would be to write a book. Yeah.
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 We have an
Uh-huh.
update on that later
Yeah, exactly.
because there are updates.
Oh yeah, for sure. Speaking of, we could talk about it right now if you are
I don't
ready.
know what other questions you might have. I would be
Ah.
interested in the questions that you have.
Hmm. Well, the questions I kind of put together aren't really like it's just from the internet, so it's not the most funnest thing in the world,
Ah, okay.
maybe. Yeah. However, we could talk about that, or we could give an update about our actual books and then do some questions and back and forth if that helps. Which would you like to do?
Um, Maybe a bit of both because if we
Mm.
just talk writing about in the first half, it feels may feel a bit empty in the later half.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So maybe
Yeah.
hmm, first try one question and then we do an update and another question. It's like truth.
Yeah, we can do
What's the thing?
that.
Truth and dare? It sounds
Or
like
we
a truth
can
and
do an
dare.
up or we can do an update on the things that we do together
Oh
and
yeah, that's
then do
true.
a question and then move to another one.
Hmm. I suppose one question for you is that do we actually want to talk about that specific one that came and popped up out of nowhere and kind of pretty much went along its way? That particular one we are yeah, writing.
Well, the most progress we made on a project called Circus,
Mm.
because we only talk project names at the moment,
Yep.
and that one is the furthest along. Still very much in baby shoes,
Yeah, that's true.
but recently, and I did try to work with another friend, and it's
Mm.
just such a huge difference working with you or with that other friend
Mm.
because you can't force it. And with that other
Mm.
friend, it feels forced, and
Oh.
I gave up on it. I said,
Oh.
it's just not working. And
Uh,
it's okay that it's not working. You can accept that.
I hope it works out
But
in the
on the other
next one.
hand,
Yeah.
well, it's probably we have very different styles, and
Mm.
but that can be interesting. But what
Mm.
didn't work out was our ideas didn't feel smooth when we were trying to
Ah.
work on something.
Right, right,
It was
right.
always running against a wall.
I see, I
And
see.
if you can't even hit it off on that stage, it will only get worse in later bit because you can't even focus on a plot together.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, on the other hand, with you, it's like, okay, I conjure a dream, and then next we have a 7 book plot,
Yeah, that's true.
all in the course of one afternoon.
And we're always like, oh no, we have this idea, but then what about this? And then what about that? And then it just continues on and 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 on. I think we need to actually be bitten by a vampire and become immortal so that we can finish all our books because
Yeah,
I
I would think
really think
that
we need
too.
an eternity.
I just think that I need the official certificate for being a vampire because I'm already pale, really bad at giving blood, and I burn in the sun. So
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know. Is it bad if I say that you epic failed as a vampire, but you're a really cool human being? That sounds really strange. Well,
that's fine. I get that.
it actually is kind of a really funny storyline. But anyway, let me come back to our actual stories that we're writing.
I'm sure that
Oh,
would fit the show of the what we did in the shadows. It would already fit that one
oh yeah, that's
because
true.
they have
That's
all the
true.
weirdos.
Yeah, that's true. I might actually put together something later. But anywho, oh well, that's too bad. It didn't work out with your other friend, but hopefully it works out for the next time. Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
we'll see. In
Yeah.
the meantime, I've already so many projects to work on, so it's also okay that it didn't work out. And
Can you name, or
yeah,
rather not
just
name,
shifted.
I guess, how many projects do you have so far?
Oh my god. Um, I have I have split it like in 4 categories. One is with Anna,
Uh-huh.
and then the 3 pen names.
Yep.
And
Three
this
identities.
means several projects under it.
Right.
But I do try to focus on one project per pen name
Hmm.
because if I don't, then it kind of slips away from me and I get so get like a puzzle in my head that I can't solve because it's drawn into all kinds of directions. Puzzle is not really the best metaphor for this. It's like a cocktail, but it doesn't mix, so it's really bad cocktail.
I mean, if it's a puzzle and you lose one part of the puzzle, then probably that's not a good thing.
Yeah, but it's more like it's 100 puzzles and
Hmm.
none of these pieces fit together because they're all from different puzzles.
That's true. But then what if you find another puzzle and then you put it in there and then it actually turns out to work out okay? So I suppose that's okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm
Yeah, it didn't
interrupting.
work so far. Maybe because I'm not Picasso.
I'm sure it will work out. Yeah, but there are so many projects I think that you're working on, and that's really exciting. And I am
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing the actual book. Speaking of pressure, I'm probably pressuring myself to do that too. So, give me all the pressure
Well, I do
anyway.
the same with you. I'm the same with you when you come. I read on your Instagram. Oh, I made progress on this, and I'm like, yeah. Evil
Yeah,
grin and rubbing my hands together.
exactly. And I'm like,
it's
I'm the
like it's
same.
like it's like feed me more.
You can slowly but surely start to see all the bubbles that are coming out of me. As like, oh, just a little bubble here, just a little bubble there. It's starting to work out, and I hopefully it's a
Yeah.
full potion. But it's been kind of sporadic for me whenever I'm writing. It's like here and there I would actually
Mhm.
have it. And one of the things that I've kind of been doing when it comes to Fatal is I have a notebook that I bring around with me. So that's been kind of helping a little bit with the
Yeah,
writing process. And it's fun.
that's good.
Yeah. And also music really helps because without it, I feel like I'm not
Mm,
quite there, which is really
mm.
interesting.
For you, it's always a big part. That's why you're in charge of when we work together of you creating the playlist.
Yeah, yeah. I think without music, it's really hard to write. Even though I
Mm.
could write without music, I think it would be a little droll.
Sometimes you want it because you want out of your own mind while writing and have something else playing there. But
Hmm.
sometimes it's also the surrounding is so loud and you need to blend it out because otherwise you don't feel in the Victorian age.
Yeah, I think that's exactly probably what it is. Somehow it kind of really just, yeah, it's easier to get into the zone, I think. What about you though? Do you really need music to, or like something else to get you focused into it, or are you pretty good at being able to focus on writing even without any other media to help you out?
Um, it depends on projects and on my mood. There's not really one go to that I can do.
Hmm.
There's sometimes that I like when I have a when I have feel like oh I have a full day of writing, like on a weekend, then I can't start with writing. I need to get something to get into the mood, to get into the story, and then I
Yeah,
might watch a movie or read something in the some genre, also to set myself up on how does the genre actually work.
true.
And but when I come from work and try to just write for half an hour, then I have like go-to songs that I put on, which is kind
Hmm.
of funny when I write on romances on Ria. I always put one particular playlist on. It's just one video on YouTube that has several songs in it, and they're
Ah.
all instrumental and they're a bit
Mm.
like a bit of a sexy vibe. So I always put that video on. I try to put other videos on with the same kind of playlist vibe, and it don't work. It just works with that one video.
Oh, well, that's interesting. But I know what you mean, though. I have certain moments like that too. Although it kind of really depends on which song I'm listening to and which mood and which scene, I
Yeah.
guess, that I'm writing too, which is
Yeah, and
really
sometimes it
intriguing.
also connects to story. Like it's a major fault of yours
Hmm.
that I cannot listen to any Adele song to any other story than you know which one.
Yeah. That's
For
true.
all the listeners, Anna once did a book trailer for my fantasy series,
Hmm.
and that was to a song of Adele. And now I can't. And now whenever Adele is on, I can't think of any other book project or anything. My mind goes immediately there.
I mean, that's great that it's reminding you of that. Hello? Huh?
There are also times in the year when I just put your trailer on and think, yeah, now it's time to delve into that. But it's always catching me on the wrong path, on the wrong time, because
Mm.
I love the video. I love watching it always.
Oh.
But it's like, I'm not writing that story yet. So I need to get away from it again.
I mean, you'll get there eventually, I think. But so far, you're focused
Yes,
on
I
something
will.
else, so that's okay. Same as me, too, to be honest. Because I totally understand where you're coming from. There's a bit of a
Yeah.
sequence that you
But it's
have to
also good
finish.
that, yeah. But it's also good that we have kind of not the same type of taste in music, but we do have a similar one. And that's why when you create a playlist, I'm always happy with the songs.
Oh my
There
God.
might be one or two that I'm already associating with other stories, but that only proves okay, we have a similar taste. Otherwise, it wouldn't real be connecting that she picks the songs out that I've already picked for other stuff.
Oh my God. We're not friends anymore. You don't like Tay Tay? You don't like country music? Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. No offense to Tay Tay, but yeah, that's not in our playlist usually.
No.
No, yeah, it's more
I
atmospheric,
have I have
moody.
yes, I have playlists where she would be in, but that would be in a whole different section.
Oh, which one? Sorry. Which one did
No,
you say?
I didn't name which one. It's
Ah,
just when I write a fantasy in Paris,
mm,
it's like I don't see her songs fitting that well.
yeah. I think each place has to
While in
have their
another
own
one it
thing.
does. So everything has their
Ah,
own twist.
I see. Yeah, speaking of, let me actually, just to make spice things up a bit, let me randomly
Mhm.
find a question.
Yep.
Hmm.
If they're numbered, you can just do a number thing.
I guess it's a number thing. I don't know, actually. Let's go
But
with
if
this
they
one.
were numbered, I could just say 31 and you read out question 31 or something.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. There's like 35 questions. So yeah, you just
No, no,
chose.
no, no. You can just pick one because you probably know which one is better suited right now.
Oh no, I mean this one actually kind of works. You can probably try this one. I'll read it out to you. It says, "Are there any new genres or styles you're interested in exploring?" And that kind of relates to what you're trying to do right now, no?
The newest one I have been exploring, and that was actually when I moved to Germany in the beginning of the year,
Mm,
was horror. And I wrote up a whole idea, a whole plot,
of horror.
and then of horror.
Of horror. No. Anyway.
It's not like one where it's not a splatter where everyone gets killed or something. That's not.
Yeah, but
It's
still
more like a
horror.
bit.
Scary. I mean,
It's at the end when I was finished with the plot, I was like, it started as a project horror, but now it feels like um still has a bit of a vibe, but also has a bit of Alice in Wonderland turned horror vibe, something
mm,
like this.
it ended up not becoming much of a horror.
Yeah, it's less than that. But I was, as a child, always afraid of Alice in Wonderland, so for me, it's really fitting. Because I
Right.
was like, oh, that suddenly turned into something that I was always afraid of.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland isn't like a
It's
scary thing for me,
also
but
when,
yeah.
yeah, but also when I watched the Disney version, I was always scared of that cat.
Yeah, that cat is a little bit scary though. It
Yeah, it
disappears.
also reminded me a bit of, and those guys I didn't think scary, but I made the connection way later in the Labyrinth, the movie that
Mm.
I don't know yet. Have you watched it now, or have you not watched it now?
I did
I know
watch
we
it,
talked
yeah.
about this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so they're the guys in there that throw around their heads.
Huh. I kind
Do you
of
remember
vaguely
these?
remember.
They're kind of like birds and the dancing. But this scene I always thought funny.
Ah.
But somehow the cat was just the hat. That was scary. I don't know.
I see, I see. Oh, yeah, I have a really bad memory. I only remember Labyrinth with the baby and everything, but other than that, I don't
Yeah.
remember much. And the girl, obviously, and also the
Well,
main
for me, it was
villain.
all about the creatures and the Goblin King.
Right, right,
So,
right,
yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the Goblin King's tights. That's the main thing that I took away from that movie. I was like, oh, the beautiful dress, the super tight tights.
Oh.
Yeah, and then the baby that's flying around, and then the rest
Yeah,
of the
but that
weird
was the
creatures.
time. That was the fashion of the time.
Yeah, I think that's what was yeah, very fashionable. So, but
Yeah.
story-wise, are you having some good progress though? Oh, did you mention what you're working on right now though? I feel like we didn't actually
No,
have that chat.
No, because we left that. We spoke a bit about our project,
Right,
and
right.
then one question, and now we could speak about some kind of progress.
Right. That's true. That's true. You want to talk about
But
your
first,
project or?
but first, I
Mm,
think. But first, let me ask you: what
mm.
have you been working on? Anything that is a new genre for you, or would you ever consider it?
Me? I don't know. Maybe at some point it would be really cool to try something else. What would be a good genre? But right now, I think I'm gonna stick with a few of the genres I already have because I have a
Mm-hmm.
lot that I'm writing, I think. I mean, the style, for example, I suppose one of them that might be slightly different from that might be unique from the other writing that I'm doing is that Fatal, the Victorian era book is mainly four different perspectives from four
Mm.
different characters, I guess. So that might be slightly unique. Everything
Yeah,
is
don't
first
try
person,
to make
I
don't
guess.
try to make us all mad, like when reading a Lord of the Rings and wondering where is everyone.
I think I am making myself mad writing this, to be honest. Every
I
time
mean,
I'm writing.
it's one of the highlights of Lord of the Rings, but when you read it as a younger reader, you're sitting there. What actually? Where are they?
That's true. It's also kind of fascinating too at the same time because you get to see
Yeah.
an insight of that person's brain and what they're
Mm,
thinking and how they're viewing things. So I've always
mm,
figured that would be really cool. And at the same time, it's also a little bit of both because you can't actually write he said, she said, he thinks, and then you can't share the environment that both of them might be in instead
mm,
of only one person. So that's kind of,
mm.
I want to shake myself for not thinking of that ahead of time. But,
Oh, you
but to
just
be
have to make
frank,
sure
yeah.
if each of them would be speaking individually, that they all have their own tone as well.
I hope so,
Or
yeah.
or do you have one narrator that tells it all?
Ah, I see what you mean. Everyone has their own voice pretty much, so
Mm-hmm.
whoever is reading that particular story will have to follow how each person is feeling about that particular
Mm-hmm.
situation that they're facing. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'm trying to overlay it a little bit so that one character does this, and then the next chapter will be another person's voice, and that person is also seeing the same thing but diff feeling
Mm-hmm.
different things, I guess. If that makes any sense.
And not all of them might be truthful.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of, especially with the ending that I'm putting together, I hope that it would make people think, oh my goodness, what is going on? Wait, wait, wait. Okay, I hope that is a good cliffhanger, but let's see how that
Yes,
goes. And I also
that
had a
sounds good.
Eureka moment, so that
That
helps.
is always the best.
Yeah, for sure. I just can't share it here because then I'd be spoiling the good bit about the book. But then again,
Yeah,
you never
but
really want to hear the ending. You always want to hear the journey.
that's true. But
Mm.
maybe we speak about your fatal progress next.
All right, so since we jumped over to my question and I've answered the question, do you want to give a quick progress update on your story that you're currently working on?
So for the longest time, about um, I began this year with lots of new ideas on Kent because I kind of didn't know where to put ideas, what what to focus on or anything. But because I was just
Mm.
jumping from one plot to the next one and creating new stuff out of nowhere and not getting anywhere, and
Like a
my niece were
magician.
yeah, and my niece were calling, "Hey, I'm out a book." I was like, "Oh yes, I should be on other stuff." And so I thought, okay, where do I jump and where do I put my focus? So I didn't go to the niece stuff. Which, yeah, yesterday she had a party without me. Like, yeah, we're finally doing this, but my aunt is not. Um,
Oh.
yeah, it was a bit strange, but yeah, it was a birthday party, and I was really happy for her.
Ah, I see,
So
I
yeah,
see.
so I focused actually on Ria,
Mm.
and I am now. If I would split the book into three parts, like just based on the number of chapters,
Hmm.
then right now I would be at the end of the middle part.
Ooh, that's exciting. So you're
So
almost there.
yeah, almost there. It doesn't feel right yet, but it's feeling better than the last version I had before I revamped the whole story. And
Mm.
actually, it's kind of a new story, but
That's
it's a first
exciting though.
draft. It's
Yeah.
okay if it's not if it's messy, and it has moments where I think, oh, these are so cute, and that is a huge progress to what the stories was, to what the earlier idea was. So this new idea is already capturing me a bit more, and
Right.
I have these moments of like, oh gosh, my heart, and that is good. But yeah, we will see how we twist around the rest so that we make it nice and shiny when I'm come to the editing phase.
That's true. Would you just for I know what your story is about, but for the listeners that might be listening, would you mind reminding us what exactly which story you're working on for Ria, under Ria?
So I, did, I said it's a gay romance
Uh-huh.
with based on like the ideas was an app thing. So one has a fake profile and the other one stumbles across that, and it
Hmm.
goes from there. But I yet have to write the ending,
Right.
and it's a
Oh,
it's a
interesting.
duology. So the first
Um,
part of the first book in this two-part series might not have a happy ending. And
ooh.
I'm not sure how this goes well with the romance readers if I declare it as romance. But if I say it's erotica, we love when that word sounds up here. Uh,
Angst.
I think it's not going to be like, as often as we did that in the past. But yeah, if I declare it as such, everyone will be disappointed because it has its moments, but it's not as happy on that side because I needed something that smoothes me in. That is like, okay, this is my first step. But the first step was the short story that I published. But
Hmm.
now I do a bit more, but it's not constant. It's still about these guys and how they may or may not fall in love.
Hmm.
And I'm not really sure how to declare it yet, what it is. I lean more towards romance, but yeah, I watched a video um, lately where it says if your romance doesn't have a very happy ending, then be prepared that everyone comes with you with forks and knives.
Hmm.
So
You
bring
never
out the
know,
pitchforks,
though.
I guess.
You never know. You might be creating a new genre of your own story, right? You never know. And
The thing is, there's
if it
still the
makes
chance for
sense.
happy ending in the second one. So
Yeah, exactly. So if it makes sense, I think, and if you think it's right, then I think you should go for it. Just
yeah,
trust your gut and go with it at the end of the day. Because it's your story, and if you don't enjoy it,
mm,
then no one's gonna enjoy it, right?
that's true.
Yeah. So I think it's probably gonna be fine. And I'm excited to read it, so please hurry up and write. Not a demand,
That
but it is a
will be
demand.
the. I'm pretty sure this will be the earliest one to come out.
Mm. But that's exciting.
Um, so just how it goes and how I have less things to do for Ria in preparations of stuff. So I
Mhm.
think this one will be the first. I still hope it comes out this year.
Yeah.
But you see the year rushing by, flowing by, and I'm just not sure if I can or not.
Right.
So, but next year, the latest, it will be
Mm.
there.
I mean, if it was next year
If
and,
if
if
it if it's next year, it might not be the only one.
Right. Wait, what do you mean? Might not be the only one.
Oh, we'll come to that later.
Oh, okay. 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 Are you biding your time? Hmm. Oh man. Okay. Let me choose a random question.
No,
Hmm.
no, 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 no.
No?
Your progress.
My
It's not
progress?
just about my progress.
We can
Your
jump to one
progress, please.
question, then I can do my progress later, though.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Since it'll be fun. Let's see. There is a question I can ask you right now, which is, how do you approach the process of getting your book published? Which might be an early question, to be
Yeah, that
honest.
is a very early question. I have some thoughts of it on each of the, like, I have some goals that I have for Ria, for Edith, for Kent, and the shortest one is Ria, and the longest one is Kent.
Hmm. Maybe you can
And
approach Ria.
yeah, so because we were just talking about it, so I did publish the short story already.
Hmm.
So after I'm pleased with the story and more writing and editing is done, then I have found myself at checking out Fiverr,
Mm.
and because there are some good talents that make a cover that suits Ria.
Mhm.
Like there are a lot of people on Instagram which would offer you a cover, but I always feel like this is not the vibe that I put out there because most of these are either very dark romances
Mm.
or heavily fantasy oriented.
Mm.
And also with some of them, and that comes more and more, you're not sure if there's an artist behind this or AI.
Mm.
And I rather support someone who makes stuff themselves.
Right.
With Ria, it's like the approach that I had was I had someone who then goes to a public photo library
Mm.
and I can choose a picture from there so
Mhm.
that you don't breach any licenses or anything.
Right.
And then it was crafted into a cover.
Mm.
Because Ria is only e-publishing, like for Kindle and these things,
Mhm.
I don't need to set up, or okay, I need to format the page with the spaces if I want straight edges or anything. So that makes it all easier. So the progress of turning it into an ebook is much, much quicker than it would be on the other two because they go paperback and hardcover.
Hmm. Right, right, right.
Um, and with that, I found KPD on Amazon really helpful on how to set things up, have their own program on how they need a page formatted to upload it. So that cut the progress of my fear of publishing my first story.
Mm.
Really, it cut it down. It was, I have another friend who is more into the dark romances and she's looking into how to publish a story, and I was telling her all about this and I said yeah that she said that really sounds good and helpful. And in this in this genre it's also very common to just e-publish your book, so that makes
Mhm.
it easier to choose this route.
Right, right, right. That's interesting. It's fascinating about the book covers as well. But it makes sense with the licensing and everything for the pictures. So,
Yeah.
hmm. I see, I see. So you're gonna go down the same route for the new book that you're writing right now under Rhea, pretty much, with just a different picture.
Yeah, probably, but also the last picture was really out there, and I feel like these
Out
guys
there.
aren't so much out there. So I might choose
Mm.
something different that is a bit com- more comfy and these things. But it can't be too comfy because if if your book looks like, oh, that is such a sweet one, and then suddenly you have something spicy in it, it can lead to readers having the wrong anticipation of your book,
Hmm.
the wrong expectation for it. So
True.
yeah, but it's really satisfying when you've done all the work and then you get to choose something
Yeah.
and think, yeah, now that is a perfect home for it.
True. Would you choose to actually ask a legitimate artist for the art cover if you can ask them to draw something? Or would you prefer to have a picture?
I think for Ria, I prefer a picture
Mm.
because out of my stories, it feels like the one least based on, even though it's still all made up, it feels like the least of it.
Mm.
And that is weird because Edith would be crime stories and that, but also Edith has some fairies for my niece, so it's like okay, yeah, but there's a middle base here, so I would be much more comfortable with there being some art than I am on Ria.
Mm. I see, I see.
While I could never have a picture as a cover for Kent,
Mhm.
so very different in that way. What
Mm.
about you? What would your cover be?
Me, I think depends really, but depends really because I kind of prefer like lately with art covers, I think a lot of the times I see like really like they have similar like art styles, I think, lately when you
Mm,
let's say go into the YA section or something.
yeah.
And you can see like it's hard to explain, but it's very similar. And then it's very glittery, it's pretty and everything. Not that I'm saying my book is actually YA, but like whenever I go to the YA section, it has a similar style. And then when you go to the adult section under the novels, they also have a similar style. So I kind of, if I were to choose for the covers I have, I would either go with art or I would go with a picture, but a minimalist kind of picture, or maybe even a logo,
Mm,
I guess. Sometimes they
mm,
have like really cool letters and logos, so I might go with that. But yeah, I think I would try to think out of the box, I think, for the covers. Unless, of course, the artwork itself is so pretty that I wouldn't really be like, oh my God, this is perfect. So let's keep that, you know.
mm.
Especially favorite artists. I do have some favorite artists. So if by any chance I have the money to actually ask them to draw something, I would
Yeah.
totally ask them. Totally. Only if they accept, of course. And I would be
Mm.
honored if they do. So yeah.
Yeah, but I also learned to take a look on, like you do, you go into the bookshop and look around what other authors do.
Right.
But, and I think that is very common and necessary because it gives also the reader an impression, oh, okay, yeah, this is kind of the genre that I like to read.
True, true. I mean, if we look at Twilight, for example, it's very iconic, right? Or Harry
Yeah.
Potter, or let's say,
I think
hmm,
it's very difficult now to create something iconic.
hmm,
That's just when people say create something completely new, and actually it's who said it again that you can't, that everything has been done already.
hmm, I forgot. Yeah, but pretty much everything has been done
Yeah,
already. Yeah. I think new is great, but only if it actually is going to inspire you,
yeah.
I suppose. Because if even if it's new, if it doesn't inspire you, then it's just new. It's like another
It has
potato on a
it has
shelf, you
to
know.
have the right feeling to it so that you think, oh yeah, that's a match. And if you create something, then don't let it be a copy. Create,
Hmm.
make your own twist out of it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Definitely. I think the classics, some remakes are probably part of it. Versus, let's say, if you go to a Disney movie and it's like a, I don't know, I mean, nothing against all the Disney movies, but some of them are just the same thing and they're just making it more realistic. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It's like a bit of both,
Hmm.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Sure. Yeah. Anywho, so thank you. Yeah, thanks for answering that question. That's really interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing your approach for the publication though, generally. And we can definitely go through that when we actually go through the processing of publishing the
Yeah.
darn things. Fingers crossed, and hopefully soon. And I can hopefully follow in your footsteps before the end of this year, I guess, when it comes to Fatal. Because I really, really hope I can at
Well,
least put together one final, first draft, not final draft. Hopefully. Because right now I think I'm kind of like writing the first draft, but as you said with yours as well, like the first draft is kind of a hot mess.
mm.
Literally,
But
like,
that's a thing that you need to learn because when you start out with writing, it's like, oh, I want this to be perfect, and when it didn't
yeah.
turn out perfect, you throw things away. So to get to that level to accept it's not going to be perfect, that is already an achievement.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, for me personally, I have to do a little bit of research because
Mm.
I keep getting these little small ideas, like just to fill in all the gaps that I have. And because I don't have the background of because Fatal is inspired by one, the main character is an engineer slash inventor. Another main character is also slash engineer slash inventor. So I'm like, I'm not an engineer. I don't know how things work. I need to look it up, figure things out, and then write about it. My villain is technically he's kind of a chemist, so I need to also look that up as well. And
And by
there's
the
also
end of it, you're going to have a university degree.
exactly. That's exactly what's happening right now. I think literally after the end of this book, I'm gonna be more knowledgeable on science and engineering. And maybe even what's the term when you have when you're studying about hearing and noise and sound? I wonder. I can look it up,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm late, way too lazy.
Mm.
So yeah, that's something else that I'm looking into, and the more I look into things, the more it kind of comes up, and there's a bunch of ideas I want to put in, and then it's going to be a
Yeah.
lifetime. But it'll be interesting.
So, how far would you say you actually are right now?
Hmm. I mean, I put a deadline on NaNoWriMo just so I can keep track of myself in terms of words,
Mm.
and I think so far I have like forgot how much I have, but it's maybe 30% esque or maybe
Okay, that's
40%
good.
esque. It's not too bad, I guess. Yeah. But then again, I kind of got halfway through, I paused a little bit, so that's probably why hence the 30%,
Mm.
even though we're technically in May. It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
I got distracted doing something else, so I'm coming back to
Yeah,
it
you
now.
went, and you've also said that you have like seasons that inspire you for certain books. And
Yeah.
right now, we are not really in the season for Fatal, but you keep going. That's great.
Yeah,
You don't
true.
wait until NaNoWriMo comes around to do it then again.
Yeah. I may have mentioned this in the second episode, but I realized that I'm not getting any younger, so that is actually one big motivator in terms of writing this
Mm.
book. Because my biggest regret would be to die before I finish writing, among many other
Yeah.
things, I guess. So I
Well,
literally
then
do
go
not
and
want to
hurry
turn
up.
into a ghost. Yeah, I literally do not want to turn into the same character I'm writing, which is
Yeah, but the
ironic.
thing is also, when once we turn into ghosts, you and I are gonna be busy because we're gonna hunt some places.
Yeah, that's true, but then I think at the end of the day, you gotta be alive to enjoy some of the things that we want to try. No?
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, however, that actually does make me um make me, oh no, this is a spoiler. Maybe I can't mention it. It does kind of inspire me a little bit in terms of some of the thoughts I have for Fatal. So yeah, if I can spoil you, then I would spoil you right now about some of the things that I have in terms of ideas. But anyway,
Okay.
or maybe I should. You want to
Maybe
hear it?
maybe we leave it at that because I want to read the story.
Yeah, that's true. If I spoil you, then it will be boring. So maybe
It
it's
won't
better if
be
I leave.
boring, but yeah, I want you to finish it.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, it just, I don't know, it's counterproductive. But sometimes, like the ideas I have, sometimes I have moments where I want to draw it. So that's something. And if I want to draw it, it means it's really something.
Yeah.
is what I've noticed anyway. So yeah,
And
that's
you draw a lot.
yeah, but lately I don't my muse has kind of gone somewhere ever since I finished drawing for Lovers. So yeah, I don't know why, but it kind of like flew away. It's
And
like,
it
eh.
was also a distraction. I love to see the characters that you came up with, but you
Hmm.
always said, well, when I'm drawing so much, then it's I can't write.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a distraction. So in some ways, it's actually a good thing that I'm not drawing right now. Because if I was, then I would not be writing. So it's a bit of both. I think that's a good thing in some
Mm-hmm.
ways. Um, hmm. Yeah, so
Both
anyway,
ways.
moving on. Let's see.
Next question.
Yes, next question. Let me quickly go through and bam. Okay, let's do this. What has been the most challenging aspect of writing your current book?
Finishing it.
True. True. Very true. Moving on. Next question. Okay, what part of writing brings you the most joy? You just sighed. Is that bringing
Yeah,
you
I
joy or
know.
just making you tired? I'm the same. Same, same, same.
About the actual writing, I really enjoy when my ideas come together and
Hmm.
you're there with your eureka moment and thinks, yeah, now that fits.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the best moment, I think. Ooh, I have a question
But
for you. Oh, go ahead.
but
Sorry.
I also have another moment. And, my sister knows about this moment because she's the one that had to experience that. Um, for years, I have the odd thing as an activity that I do that I dance to music in like my room in the dark. And
Hmm.
my mum and family members always like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this? This is so weird." And on one hand, yes, it is very weird, but on the other hand, it's like I have this massive universe of a story in my head,
Hmm.
and the thing how I control it is to at times run through it, the entire story from start to finish, while listening to music and just go sometimes do some movements that the characters would do, like how they create magic, how they do a fight scene.
Hmm.
On other times I just listen to the music and I start crying of a scene that I remember in my head and how these things connect together.
Hmm.
So, and I can't do this in a light filled room where I see all the mundane around me. I need the like canvas to be blank so that
Right.
I can feel all of these things. So that's why I also, at the beginning when I did that, I also injured myself a lot
Oh
because I
no.
I kind of also closed my eyes,
Oh.
which was ridiculous because it was already dark. And then I hit stop.
I mean, at least you tried, right? And then you learn from the experience, so.
Yeah, but now it comes to the point where it feels so alive that I don't have to do this much anymore and also rather feel like my characters are standing all around me and
Ah.
think, get finished or finish this stuff because we're all waiting and we've been doing this for years.
Right. Yeah, that's
And
true.
some psychologists would say I'm mad.
No, but I think if that's the case, then all the writers are mad, right?
Yeah.
So you're not the only mad one there, I think. Didn't the Mad Hatter say something along those lines, actually? Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
maybe.
Yeah, I see. Oh, well, I'm
So what's your favorite part?
hmm. What part of writing brings you the most joy? I have this weird thing where I have two parts. One, I like writing angst, which is so weird. And
No, I get that.
the other is especially with Fatal, I found that I really like writing all these like small moments where it
Mm.
makes me want to kind of tear up and cry. So
Mm.
it's more of a gushy feeling kind of moments, like oh, which
And then
essentially
the
is kind of weird
problem
because I'm the
part,
one who's writing them, but
and then the problem parts are being filling this all up to make a story.
yeah, to actually lead up to those moments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because like I have like spots of scenes every so often within the book, but I don't have the meat in between, so I'm filling all that meat up, and then hopefully it
Yeah.
becomes an actual human, not a human, but an actual book. But yeah, the process has been
This is
interesting.
how we write differently because this scenic writing I only do when I write with you when we write a story together.
Hmm,
All the other things I write chronologically,
right. I
and then
tried that.
I build up to the things.
Hmm. I'm way too impatient. I tried that, but I just want to go get straight to the actual good scenes, and then I suppose maybe that's a good thing and a bad thing because for one thing, I'm really fired up when I'm writing those scenes, but after I finish the thing, I'm like, wait, so how does it actually get there? It's like, where's the next train? Guys, guys. Yeah, so that's my dilemma sometimes, but I think that's the
Mm.
editor in me that usually likes video editing
Yeah.
bits and pieces of scenes, I think. The other part about, I suppose if I were to continue that question, is the
Mm.
angst. And you probably know this very well, but for some reason, the angst is really exciting when
Yeah.
it comes to writing, especially in romance. That's just me, though. Don't know if it's something else, though. If it wasn't romance, I wouldn't be as excited about angst. Because I think it's just one character angsting over something versus if he's
And I
angsting
also
over.
heard
Hmm.
recently by a romance author, if you don't have that part, and if they don't have this, oh, are gonna get together, or oh no, they broke up just before the end, are they getting back in the final pages? If you don't have that, if you
Hmm.
don't have the moment of build up,
Right.
of um, getting something out of it, the satisfaction isn't there,
Yeah. I
and
think
it
that's what it
kind of
is.
falls flat and boring.
There's something about it, I think, for sure. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely, it's that chariot of fire moment where essentially the characters meet up at the very end and you're like, dun, 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 dun. Anyway, so that's always exciting. Especially if it's like a dramatic scene at the end of the finale or something, where
Mm.
essentially you're like, oh, thank God they're actually coming together, but then the villain. So and then you're like, now they've got together, but are they gonna survive? You know, that's
Oh.
always fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you want to talk about our most recent endeavor? Last time we had a chat that was super immersive and full of ideas, or do you want to keep that a little bit of a secret until we have a fully formed
Well,
shape?
I kind of hinted at that with the
Right.
first part of this.
Right, right,
The
right.
but you said maybe we don't know. I don't know. Do you want to go back to it and speak more about it?
We could do that, or we could talk about circus, actually. We never really had a chance to talk about circus so much, I feel. So both
Yeah,
ways
but
is okay for me.
I feel last time that we worked on this new idea. It's always when you
Hmm.
have some new ideas, they feel so shiny, and then it's like, ooh, I want to work on the new stuff.
Yeah, there's this weird lure of doing the new stuff and then kind of keeping the ones that you already are working on at on a little corner and they're like in detention or something. And then you pick
Mm.
them up later when they're good behaving little children, pretty
Yeah.
much. And then you're like, okay, so you've had your little fun. You've been able to learn a little bit in the little corner, right? You haven't done anything wrong. Mommy's the one who did something wrong, but but I hope you had a good vacation while you were in that little corner. And then I'm back for you.
Yeah.
I feel like that's usually the case with our little stories, including
Mm,
our collaborations as well. But I think it's been moving pretty well,
yeah.
right?
Like the one that has the least attention is sci-fi.
Yeah, that one I feel
Still don't
like
know.
yeah,
We
it
will
doesn't have a
get to that
structure.
when I understand the cat.
Yeah, I think I wanted to explain that one, but I feel like maybe now's not the right time to do that
No,
because
no,
it'll
no.
reveal so much. And also, I don't know if it actually makes sense now that the story has sort of changed, but we'll see how that goes for that one, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, but definitely, I think,
I feel like it might be the last one that we go back to.
we'll never know. Depends on how inspired we are by that
I
particular
think
genre
two.
and story.
I think two of which is circus and villains. They're pretty
Hmm.
structured,
Hmm.
and we have a love for them to go back to. And here and there, we catch something that sparks an idea to go back to it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know what the new one will be sparked by.
Hmm.
Um, because it's also odd. This feels like the only one that has no magic in it.
True. And it was an intriguing story because it was inspired by one of your dreams, and then it ended up becoming
Yeah,
something else, and it became an idea that we essentially
yeah.
turned into a dark story. So I
Oh
think
yeah,
it may or may not be one of our darkest stories yet, I think.
yeah. I think it is the darkest story so far.
Yeah, so. And it should be
So
also a very interesting
maybe
one.
we should cast it a bit aside. That's also what I feel about it because um, if you start with this to launch a first collaboration, it
Hmm.
sets a tone for the others.
Oh yeah,
And I
for
don't
sure.
know if this is the best tone for it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think sharing it is it's not a no, not a big deal, I think. But when it's
Mm,
our actual first publication, I think that's
yeah.
maybe too much. We're being
Yeah, because the others are um, not inside a bit this way because there are with magic and with other things. And so the
yeah,
first two being villains and circus also have this Victorian vibe that we love.
true.
So I think the other one, it had its moment because it needed to shine as the new one and the new toy, and then it waits until its time.
That's true. By the way, I please remind me, but did we ever explain to the listeners what exactly villains is? I feel like we never explained it.
The
It
thing
might be a
is,
good opportunity to
um,
share.
do we want to explain it yet? Because it's not coming out in the next, I don't know when.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think it's quite okay to just have a working title, and we will reveal details when we get closer to it.
Hmm, good point.
And yeah,
That's true. That's true. Don't keep your eggs in one basket, I guess, is the expression. I don't
we
know.
might also still change things about it, and then the reader's like, wait, I heard you saying other things about it.
Oh yeah, very true. That's true. Okay. Cut that one out. That's true. That's
Well, I
true.
can. We already revealed it has villains because otherwise it wouldn't be called villains, and it has Victorian age and magic vibes. So we already said things about it.
Mm-mm. That's true. That's true. We have shared a little bit about it. That's very true.
Yeah.
Hmm. Let me see. I'm looking
But
through
did
some
you
of the
want?
questions.
But did you want to talk more about circus?
It would be kind of cool if we did, but I don't know if we want to reveal so much when it comes to the
Mm.
story. But we do seem to
All
have
right.
a pretty good structure when it comes to circus
Mm-hmm.
and how we want it to come
Yeah.
together.
We
And
started with some scene writing, so it's not at zero anymore.
oh yeah,
And
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, it has been put on pause for a little bit, but the last time we worked on that one, I think we had at least correct me if I'm wrong, but we had four scenes or five? Five? No, four
I
scenes
tend
maybe?
to lean to four as well.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
four. Yeah, and each one was really exciting, and Yvonne was really great. She was really good at writing one particular character and one particular scene. And I
Oh
think you're
gosh, I
very
was
attached to
so
that
scared.
character.
I was so scared writing that.
Oh my goodness, you should be proud. That scene was really, really fun. And it's hard to explain because we don't want to spoil anyone on this particular podcast. But
We will have a really hard time because I really like your writing. You say the other things about me, and sometimes when we try a scene, we write them both, and in the meantime, and then scroll up or down to see what the other person wrote,
yeah.
and we need to find a way to combine it later, or say, okay, this scene is, we take it from you, we take it from me. That will be interesting how we put it together then.
Yeah, that's true. Especially once we finish the whole story and then start going through the
Yeah.
editing process. But I get the sense that the editing process may or may not be pretty quick, since we already kind of edit while we're actually writing.
What I really like was when we have this scene at the very early on,
Hmm.
when we have the brief talk about the mother,
Mm,
and then we kind of switched during the writing process, and
right.
kind of like when one person said, "Oh, I'm stuck," and the other one was able to just pick up, and it felt natural and smooth in a way that you couldn't tell which one was which part.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was really interesting. And I think that was like the first time we actually started to collaborate and write together, right? We were still kind of trying to find our footing. So,
Yeah,
and I think we still are, but it is working out pretty well so far, I think.
yeah.
And also, we seem to have like depends on the mood of the actual moment, but sometimes like that last time we were writing the same scene on occasion, and other times it could be that
Mm.
we feel differently about something and we want to write that scene first before actually
Yeah,
starting
and we
off.
do have our favorites characters. Let's
Oh
face it.
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, if we were to reveal a little bit, I think you're more prone to writing our particular side slash, well, maybe later
Um,
prominent character, versus I'm pretty prone to writing about the main character who's a full-on angst-filled character. So that's maybe why.
I
Something
could be.
about him. Yeah. But you also like writing.
I push for all the side characters.
Oh, I know what you mean though. Sometimes the side characters have more character than the main characters on occasion, right?
Yeah, but I do have the how do I say which main character without revealing the story? Not the one that you do better. I do the other one that's more in the shadow of him.
Hmm. I mean, we don't actually
And
have a name for this particular character, so we can't really even explain who he is, I guess. But we know
that's how far in the
what he
shadows he
signifies.
is. He doesn't even get a name.
Yes. No offense to the side characters. I mean, I love him and everything, but the character I like actually has a name. But anyway, so yeah,
By the time we're
choose the
finished, he
winning
might be the.
party.
By the time we finish, he might get his own series because we like him so much.
True. Yeah, very true though. Yeah, you got a good point. He might actually have written by Yvonne, obviously, but just
No,
kidding.
no.
Just kidding. Yeah, but he definitely has a special place in that particular story, and I think you write
Yeah.
him really well. You really get into his
Oh,
head.
you write him great as well.
I think I like writing what's the word for any of these characters that are not in well standing, I guess. They're
Yeah.
literally they've literally gone through hell and back, I guess. But then
Hmm.
again, any character is like that. But this particular
Yeah,
character has not had a very good start from the beginning of his life. So I
that's
feel
true.
Yeah, I feel protective of him, and I kind of want to
Oh,
write from his perspective
yeah.
in the most truthful way possible. But at the same time,
Yeah.
I'm also like, oh, but you're gonna fall in love with someone who's gonna love you back, supposedly. So I'm very, 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 very happy for you. But then
Mhm.
again, dun, 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 is he going to get his happy ending at the start of this story? No, not really. That's not our style, right?
Now you have to go through hell as well
Yeah,
to earn this
exactly.
happy ending.
Yeah,
You as a
follow
reader.
us. Follow us through this hellish journey. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Yeah. And can I actually, since for our sake, when it comes to explaining circus, can I
Yeah.
explain some of the characters since I think it'll be kind of fun. So that way we can talk about it a little bit more in this particular conversation.
Okay.
Is that okay? I'll just reveal maybe the main characters.
Okay.
So in Circus, which is the pending title until we find a really cool title for this one.
The problem
Uh
I get very attached to working titles.
yeah, I know what you mean though. And I like this particular title, so it may stick, you never know. And in this particular story, it's as you can probably tell, the storyline is about characters in a circus. And the main character's name, two main characters' names is Charlie, and another one is oh my gosh, I forgot. Can you remind me of oh my gosh. He has so many names.
Casual.
Yes, but that's oh wait, hold on. That's his real name.
Oh,
What
you
was
wanted
his
to go with Babe?
Yeah, I think we need to introduce him as his first name, which is Baal.
Okay.
Baal? Baal.
But
Wait,
yeah,
are we gonna go with Baal or Bale?
yeah.
Bale
Well,
sounds weird.
Baal
Are
is
we
the
bailing him
probably
out?
the I think Baal is the pronunciation that I would associate from the name.
Right. Okay, we're sticking with Baal then. Although it just makes me want to say bah.
See, that is already bad.
I know, but I actually associate it as Baal every time, so I think that's better than Bale, which is my American accent. It's like Baal. So yeah, I think a Baal is probably better. Anywho,
Mm.
so that's their first names, and then that's pretty much the reveal that you're gonna get, except that they're gonna be love interests. And yeah, they go through these different they meet oh wait, something I can explain, I suppose. They meet as kids and one of them is in the circus to the point where he's kind of damaged. And the other one, Charlie, is the kid who meets this other kid, Bao.
Now you tried not to reveal it, and then you did.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like this is important so that way it has like a connection, I think. And then pretty much they meet, and then there are certain things, as in any circus story, there is love, there is awe, there is what is it, chaos, there's also betrayal, there's also what else is there? Am I missing something?
A
There's a lot
fox.
of there's also foxes apparently. A spoiler. And also hopefully a lot of sexy times. Yay.
Not in the
Yes.
scenes where there are kids.
Oh, no. A little bit more later when they're more adults and consenting
Yeah.
adults, supposedly. Yes. So yeah, that should be interesting. We hope you like the actual story that will probably come in as soon as we finish writing the darn thing. Oh, since we're talking about circus, maybe I can choose another question that might be interesting. You want to
Hmm.
give that a try?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I shall go with how do you handle plot twists and surprises in your writing? In our writing, in this case, I guess.
Very simple. I write down uh, plot lines and how I want the plot to go. Sometimes I even write out a whole timeline. And then I start writing, and my characters go away and do their own stuff.
True. That's true. But then again, we have to actually write those scenes, right? So we have all the
Yeah.
plot twists and everything, but in reality, we have to write it. And this
Mm-hmm.
is just me personally, but whenever I do all of the plot while outlining and everything, it's super clear, sort of. But when you're actually writing it, it takes me longer to put the twist in sometimes. On occasion, I can
Mm-hmm.
write it, but other times it's really hard to get to the actual twist because
Mm-hmm.
there has to be some sort of build up almost.
That's in the chronological one easier because you already have the build up and you just need to make sure that the twist hits at the right time.
True. And
So you
has
don't
that
you don't know if it pays off.
true, true, true. That's very true. I think that's probably what I'm sometimes missing, I think. And I totally understand because when I do video editing and stuff, sometimes it's chronological order too, just to get to that
Mm-hmm.
point. So I totally get it as well. But anyway, coming back to this twist in terms of our writing for Circus, are you finding that to be difficult? Because I think we still haven't quite gotten to that point yet.
Yeah, I agree. We haven't gotten to that point yet. I wouldn't even because of this scenic one at the minute, because it's only four scenes and
Hmm.
so much more to be done, it's not
Yeah,
really come together yet. You just have your four corner pieces of a puzzle and then you need to fill it in.
that's true. That's true.
So we will have that payoff later.
Yeah, for sure. And I have a feeling it's going to be really, really interesting because the way we might
Yeah.
look at a particular twist may not be the same way the other might be looking at that particular twist.
Hmm.
So even if we had this conversation and we plotted it out and everything, I wonder if that would actually be the same approach we take when we actually write.
That's true. So I was wondering,
Hmm.
because sometimes you skip or switch projects as well,
Hmm.
and then they kind of take your focus from the one that you're working on.
Yeah.
So, has there recently been such a moment where you thought, today I would really like to work on Lovers or on the Night? Is there something where you can reveal, oh yeah, there've been not as much progress, but a little bit?
I have four divorce papers I probably went through with with these books. So every so often I would get married with some of them, and then the other times I would get divorced with them, and then they would look really sad and depressed and
Oh,
go to their little corner, and then I would get married with the other one, but then I would get bored and then get dismarried with them, I guess.
oh, I feel so bad.
I know, right? I'm a horrible spouse, but anyway. I think to answer your
Uh,
question, I tend to have a tendency to go back and forth only because I think any writer I suppose can relate is that I need a break sometimes with the thing that I'm writing.
mm,
And when that happens, I kind of just put it on the side for a little bit because after
mm,
a little bit of time, I think I focus on it too much to the point where I get sick of it. And then I just leave it for a little bit, come back to it later, and then have some fresh eyes for it. But
mm,
so far, I think, at least right now anyway, knock on wood, with Fatal, I think it's been working out pretty well because I've tried a different approach where I would read about a specific nonfiction book that I need to look up or learn about. And every time I would learn something new, and that actually sparks a new idea, and I don't get bored with the same romance part over and over, I think. And
mm,
also, my dilemma with Fatal is that because I don't know all of the details regarding, let's say, maybe a historical moment or something, what would happen is that I would get stuck. But the flip side of that is that if I do look it up and actually have time to write in that particular scene, then it really works out. So it's like a bit of both, I
mm.
think. I
Yeah,
don't know if
all
that
right.
answers your question, though. I feel like it didn't really answer your question.
Yeah, but sometimes you just like listen to it, and yeah, it might not be the 100% answer, but you know it's there. And
Yeah,
at that time, it's just the one thing that you can reveal about something.
yeah, that's true. Oh, and
Yeah.
one other thing, I suppose, I'm yapping everywhere, but one other thing is when I do switch, it's usually because of the actual subject matter that I'm writing. No, not subject.
Mm,
The actual genre that I'm writing, I think.
yeah.
Because sometimes I suddenly have the urge to write very sexy times and and then I switch over to a different story. But the story I'm writing, for example, for Fatal, it doesn't have that much sexy times, I guess. So,
I would have assumed this one to be out of the things that I know. Well, no, Lovers has probably more, but I
right.
don't. But I don't imagine, for example, Seekers to be so many sexy times.
Yeah.
Okay, you revealed another time.
Yeah, I think that one I think it's still a work in progress and I'm getting the sense that maybe the main characters will not have as much, but the side characters are definitely gonna have some action. So I can't 100% tell you for sure that it will not have
Oh,
more
my
sexy
heart.
times. I can't tell you that for sure because yeah, it's like a bit of both. It will depend on the story, but that one is a really big project for
So,
me.
yeah, and also the reader should know it's my favorite of Anna's, and it's the one that I'm waiting for the longest.
I
And
know.
these two main characters are my absolute favorites, and they have my heart. And
Oh.
yeah, I'm just pleading by your answer.
Yes, thank you. I know I really need to finish writing this. See, that's why I should get bitten by a vampire. I should become immortal, so I don't need to think about time management or anything. I can just
Yeah, but
lounge
also
around
that
the
that the
sofa.
side characters get more attention than the main ones. It's like, oh.
I mean, you need to get to the actual juicy backstory of the villains in order to actually get into the main character's overall, torture. Not torture.
Yeah.
Get, it's angst. Anyway, yeah, so I think that will really depend. But coming back to that overall story about each of these ones, I think, yeah, the genre also tends to make me flip around every so often when I get tired of writing light 60 times versus
Mm.
not so light 60 times, I think. Yeah. Especially Fatal, it's kind of more like pining and oh, my hand is see-through. It's going through you. Help. Anyway, as a
Oh,
ghost, he can't touch anyone, so that actually
yeah.
makes it harder, except in
Mm.
dreams. But anyway, that's a slightly bigger
Now I feel
spoiler.
you get spoilery.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, how that pans out. Anywho, let's move on to a different conversation. Do you want to do a question by any chance?
I can do a question or I can do the next pen name.
Oh, yes. Let's go with the next pen name then.
All right. So the next one would be Edith, and there's not so much update. I haven't written so much about on it. Um, there will be, however, a publication this year, but
Ooh.
it's the one that is in German, and
Oh.
it's a novella that will be published this year. I just currently in the questioning whether it should be an ebook or a paperback because I've not tried a paperback release yet.
Hmm.
So I would be interested to find out how that works, but also it's just a novella, and I'm not sure if it's worth to put in a paperback because it's not that long. So I'm not
Hmm.
sure.
I think it depends. If
So,
you want it physically, then it's worth it.
well, the others under Edis will all be paperbacks because in Germany you have a lot of paperbacks,
Hmm.
especially in the crime section, which most of them is. And this novella is actually related to the crime stories. So it's
Right.
like the prequel to them, where you meet some of the characters already
Mhm.
and how they are connected.
Right.
So it would look nice on the shelf to have it all together. I'm thinking about it right now, and depending on that decision, then I can go into finding someone who does the cover because that story is actually fully edited.
Right. I mean, I think if that's the case, it sounds really interesting to go down that particular paperback route because let's say if I was a reader and I go into a
Yeah.
bookstore and I find that book on the shelf and I take it home with me and then I read it and I like it, then you can give it to someone else too, right? And you can share it.
Oh,
So that's one perspective I feel. And let's say
well,
if that
that's
gets put
interesting.
in the library, let's say, why not?
Right. Yeah, I'll think about that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
maybe. Versus if it's
Yeah.
an
So
ebook.
yeah.
You go ahead, sorry.
No, no. I was still listening to you. Even though Edith feels like the least project that I did in the last months, it is the one with the publication, and I just sit here and think, oh, okay, don't underestimate it because it is the one that can be published this year.
That's awesome. I am so proud of you. Even if it's not in English and I can't read it, I am judging you for that. Just kidding. Just
Yeah, but
kidding.
Enos is the one that is kind of also connecting with roots and family, and that
Hmm.
was the one thing that I did work on.
Hmm.
Yes, I did not finish the one for my niece, and she's judging me for that, and that is well deserved. I should have done better, and there's still time to do, but it's spring's story, and I don't know how I feel. I'm probably gonna publish it for her, like a print version for her, and then publish it in spring next year.
Hmm.
Um, so that could be the plan.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
but
think it'd be really
also
cool.
but also with Kent, there's this Kent has a one story, and we're going to that later. I always move that back. um, that is a thank you as well to my family, and
Hmm.
but my family didn't all speak English, so
Hmm.
I was debating um, on my travels lately whether I should have a German story dedicated to my family. And
Hmm.
when you start having that idea, I was like, oh my god! In the English one, not all the family members, even though they're not mean or anything, but in the books they might not get that
Hmm.
hero type, and they might be angry with me about this. So maybe I'll do something else where I show them, no, 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 here you can be hero too. It's just for the sake of the story, though. I need some villains as well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, no. I mean, you need a villain in order to make a hero at the end of the
Yeah.
day, right? So I think that's justified. For
So
sure.
there was plotting over the last months and a publication this year. That is a yes.
When is it supposedly going to be published this year?
Ah, I feel like not before October,
Mm.
just because I want to make sure that I get things right with how I want to publish it and doing a few things before I publish it.
Right.
Like for Edith, I would like to design a bookmark and these little things, which also
Mhm.
would lean more to paperback. I don't need to do that if I would go the ebook route. Then I could do that earlier. It depends also how long the cover artist would do, and so if I would go the ebook route, no, there I could be in summer. If
Mm.
if it's if it's paperback, then it would be autumn.
Ooh, I see, I see. And that is essentially the first thing that will be published. I am so excited for you. That is going to be
Well, they had
exciting.
the official short story first in English on both Ria and Kent, so they were technically first. But
Sure, but this year.
yeah,
So that's going to be exciting. And definitely please post some pictures and the covers and everything on Instagram so that we can see it.
I
It would be
will.
exciting. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
I know that you haven't done this yet, but I was wondering if you
Mm.
do this in the future.
Oh, okay.
Have you or will you ever travel for research of your book?
Yes, that is an infinite big fat yes. I think it
So,
would depend on the money part.
so for Fatal, this is fine because it just traveled to London. But what
Right.
would be the others? Because they
Hmm.
don't have a designated place.
That is a good question. One of the places that I would love to go to, which is actually a location for Soul Seeker, is okay. Let me look it up. Hold on. The Salt. Have you ever seen that picture with that beautiful Mira Lake-esque actually I don't know what I'm explaining.
Immediately comes to mind a lake in India.
I
I don't know
think it
from.
might be that one. It's the Salar de Uyuni? Salar de Uyuni. I don't think I'm saying that very well, but pretty much that location, if you look it up. Oh, it's a salt pan in Bolivia. So if you go there, that's the image I have of this particular location where the characters pass through this dangerous
Oh. No,
um
you meant something else that I meant.
oh, which one? Sorry.
I was meaning something different than you meant, but this is interesting.
Oh,
I
I
can
see.
I can see that. Yeah, from the snippets of Soul Seeker. I
Yeah.
see.
That and also I love salt. So I would not I would not be opposed to just going there just to like, I don't know, try some of their salt products because I just love salt in general. It's really bad for you, but I love salt. Like my friends
No, 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 no.
would
It's
lo
not
no.
bad. It was like every other food. Um,
True.
it needed a bit, but it's the amount of how much you're getting it in.
Yeah,
Because
you should see how much.
if you not eat any salt, that's not good for you either. Because then there's a fairy tale in Europe about a
Hmm.
salt prince that
Oh.
teaches you the importance of salt actually.
Oh,
Because
interesting.
in the fairy tale, it's the king has three daughters and asks and says, "Okay, I don't have sons, so one of you is going to be the future heir of the kingdom. And to decide this, I want you all to show me what is most, how much you love me. Describe it in a way." And the first one says, "I love you like gold." And the next
Mm.
one says, "I love you like jewels." And the third daughter, his actual favorite daughter, says, "I love you like salt." And he's
Mm.
very disappointed with that and casts her out.
Oh.
But she's actually in love with the Salt Prince, and his kingdom is all the salt. And his parents, then they also are against the marriage, so they cast a curse upon this kingdom
Mm.
that this kingdom cannot have any salt. So even
Oh.
when they try to buy it in another kingdom, everything that returns comes back as silver, gold, jewels, but nothing is sold, so they can't keep their food alive. They lose sense of taste and these things, and they age rapidly. All these things are because of salt.
That's interesting. Hmm. That also sounds a little bit like King Lear for some reason. I think, didn't he also have three daughters or something? And he had like a favorite
Uh,
daughter?
Three is a very important number in fairy
Hmm.
tales and old literature.
True.
Like the numbers three, 4 sometimes, and then 7 as a combination of 3 and 4, and then the number 12. These are the 4 important numbers.
Ah, that's probably why it reminds me of that. Hmm,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I like salt.
That could be a short now. We just cut this out. I like salt.
Yeah. And then we go into all sorts of different salts, and you're like, I have a particular salt I like though, and it's called the Malden salt. It looks like a pyramid. It's really, really cool, and I love eating this
Oh,
particular one. So if you ever have a chance to get salt, this is a an experience, like to be honest, when you eat this particular salt because it's crunchy and it's salty. Anywho, we're not here to talk about salt, and we are here to discuss something different. Why are we talking about salt? Oh yeah, we were talking about
my,
Salar de Uyuni. Yeah, really weird place in South America, where essentially when I looked this up, apparently it says you can go to an antique train cemetery, a hotel made of salt. Oh my God, that sounds like paradise.
oh,
And enough lithium to power every device you'll ever own. Hmm,
oh,
interesting. I did not know that about this particular location. And there's a bunch of
interesting.
flamingos.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a picture of flamingos, so that might be cool to actually see.
So would you visit that before souls or after souls? Like, is it
Uh,
reward to yourself or an inspiration?
oh, like after writing the book or before writing the book? Is that what you
Yeah,
meant?
yeah.
I would say it's before writing the book, I guess. Depends really on whether or not I need to know more details about the actual thing. So it could be after as well. As I said, maybe it's like a reward, possibly. Because I think just visually looking at it might be enough, at
Okay.
least for the story, I guess.
When you go after and your book is a bestseller, then you might find all these signs. This inspired soul seeking.
True. Every time I celebrate a book, every time I celebrate the success of the book, I just eat some salty stuff every so often. Just to say
Oh,
like,
that is a very cheap surprise.
yeah, yeah, that's
But
actually a good way
that's
to
a good
celebrate,
thing
I
that
guess.
if you would do like a writer's box that you give to your readers, all these things, there could be the book and something salty in it.
Why is this author giving us a pack of salt? Are they trying to let us know that there's a few poltergeists in the house that they have to exorcise or what?
Mm. I think that would be too expensive salt for that. It's
I
too
know, right?
fancy.
It's a limited edition only. Oh, geez. Although in reality, the actual story isn't really about salt. It's more about
Mm,
I remember looking at this particular picture and being inspired by it, thinking, oh, that's a really pretty picture. And
mm.
also kind of picturesque. But at the same time, I was like, I wonder what it would be like if something was down there. So yeah, that was one of the ideas that was going through my head with that
Yeah, I
particular
can.
scene.
If I
That's,
had that picture when I read the first scene that you shared with me,
mm,
and the one that where I was really confused was the setting of how the location looks like and which part was up and which part was down.
right.
Now I can see. Okay, yeah, now I understand the scene better.
Although, to be frank, though, this scene is maybe after the first part that I may have explained to you, which is the sands and stuff like that.
Mm,
This picture literally has water in it. So I think maybe it's slightly different. The original image I had was more Dune-esque, so it's
mm,
not Dune, but it is inspired a little bit by the
mm,
sands and desert and stuff like that.
yeah.
So that could be one of them, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyhow, so
All
yeah,
right.
to answer your question, that might be one of many locations I would love to go to.
Mm.
What about you? Which location would you like to go to for your books?
um, yeah, some books with Kent.
Hmm.
With Edis here and there as well, but Edis is an easier travel because mostly everything is in Germany or in Austria.
Mm-hmm.
So there's high chance I've already been to the place.
Right.
And with Kent, it's like the books that belong to the Souls universe,
Mm.
most of them can be like a map through the city.
Mm.
So when I finished the first draft of something and then went on a holiday there, I was like hunting the places that I described. I went to all of them to see, oh, did I do that correctly? And then I went home and said, no, you have to rewrite the part where she's trying to look for the place because it's literally 5 minutes of walking.
Mm-hmm.
That looked far longer on Google Maps.
Right. Yeah, especially Google Maps, it kind of lies. It's
Yeah,
sometimes jitters around, so you think you're over here, but then when you actually go to the place, it's either longer or closer to you, which is really
yeah,
funny, really. But then again, that's what you get for relying on technology, I guess.
yeah. But also you can't always go to the places. Like you don't have the time or the money to go to all the places.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's what you get for being human and not a bird, but yeah.
It's really hard to ride with feathers.
Yeah, but then again, it would be really fun. I mean, come on, we can just turn into birds and fly over there. It'd be fun. We can poop on people. Yeah, no, not really, but people we don't like, maybe we can do that. Anywho, oh man, yeah. Um, by the way, just out of curiosity, so some of the things that you are looking forward to is essentially the publication for sure. But is there anything in summer that you are planning on doing in terms of non-writing activities that you're very excited about doing by any chance?
I have been doing some things right now with like traveling to close by towns or to cities in the neighbor countries.
Yeah, you've
But
been
I have to
traveling so much.
yeah, but I have to cut down on it because let's face adulthood and responsibilities. I have to save
Oh,
some money and
childhood
um,
sucks.
yeah, but it's not like I'm bankrupt or anything. I'm not that, but I don't like to live on credits,
Hmm.
so and on loans. So I like to build up and save them things, but I needed to get out a bit, and so I did that, and now
Hmm.
it's a bit of saving, returning to stories, and
That's
like
true.
I like you always say, I just need to finish writing and make some money with the writing. And actually, my friend in Scotland also texted me this right now.
Oh.
Uh, she said, "Oh, because I told her that I was this week missing Scotland a lot." She said, "Oh, Scotland
Oh.
misses you too." And the best case
Oh.
scenario would be to write a few best-selling novels. Let me know how you do it. I want tips.
Oh. See, you're not the only person who's being reminded to actually do that. I mean, wait, that's not right. I'm not the only person who to remind you to do that. Sorry, it's a little late in the night. My brain's not working very well for some reason. Yeah, so see, the universe is working around you, and you really need to write that book in order to actually, you know,
Yeah, and maybe
continue
we should.
adulthood
And
in a more better light, I guess.
yeah, and maybe we should come to the Kent part now because I said there would be an update. There is.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
After months of trying to kind of escape this, because I was set things up for, okay, you try with the least important stuff and then you build up.
Hmm.
But then you start just plotting and working on the other bits, and it's like, oh great, one day you're just going to be known for Ria, maybe this, and you never actually finish the Ken stuff. And then a family member died,
Mm.
and my grandfather gave us a fright with another stroke. And
Mm.
I had this story that I want to tell about how much I love my family, and they're not 100% the characters in this book, but they inspire characters with their personalities. Some traits of them are
Right.
influencing these characters, and I will never get the chance to show them if I don't sit down and get done.
Yeah, that's true.
So on Kent, there will be two short story publications this year
Yay.
as a little Christmas gift. That's the plan right now because I don't think I can. If I could do them right now, because they are going to be like giveaways again, like the first one.
Hmm.
And the first one was one or the other. And so now it's time to make the choice. You can either read the one or the other as a short story. And then I returned to the one or the other book, and then revealing which is which. Because I have one draft written, but I need the draft for the other story or the one story that is parallel to it, and I need to finish that in order to make the publication ways for both of them.
Right.
And after struggling last year a lot with how the story should unfold, I now have a plan,
Oh, that's good.
and it will involve ghost hunting. It will involve a haunted house, and yeah, I'm
Mm.
not able to finish that this year. I might be able to finish the draft this year, but I'm not able to finish the whole publication round this year. So even though it would be a dream to get it out in summer,
Mm.
it's more realistic to say next summer and doing the short stories then in December. If by any chance you see the short stories popping up in summer, then I did the impossible and pulled off to publication this year. But the chance for that is very limited.
Mm. Well, you never know. But yeah, I think sometimes rushing into something is also not great either because then you
Mm.
make you t I mean, this is just me, but I tend to make mistakes when I'm rushing. So
Yep.
sometimes it's actually better to just slow down and do stuff, even though as soon as I say that, it's counterproductive and I'm actually doing the exact opposite most
Mm.
cases. But I've realized recently that I think maybe as I'm getting older, I feel like I need to slow down on a lot of things. So
Mm.
yeah, it's good to actually kind of put it into perspective and slow down and do stuff, which
Yeah.
I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like you are logically doing things in sequence. So that should be
Yeah.
exciting.
And any follower on Instagram might have already noticed it because I turned back to black and white. And I
Mm.
do that because I tell stories with the posts that I'm doing.
Mm.
And that is heavily involved with that because the two parallel stories feature a blind and a colorblind character. And this
Mm.
is where the posts are black and white and have no color.
Mm.
In
I
the same
see.
way, my friend who is going to do some foot shoots with me on the three pen names, we're gonna do some author portraits, and
Mm.
we sat down and we created a story around them, how
Mm.
they are going to evolve over publications over the next years.
I see. Ooh. So we're gonna actually see some pictures popping up that are author pictures, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That would be really exciting to
There
see.
will be not too frequent, but there will be some, and they will be shared on Instagram, and it all fits the vibe of really creating something that is huge.
Right.
Because by the way, Kent is huge.
Mm.
Um, yeah, but I finally have this again that I really want this story to be told, and
Yeah.
this was always, well, there are different beginnings to the story, but this feels the one most natural. So even though I really would want to write the story that might be just my grandparents and have them tell the story, it's not the story that you would begin with. So I might write that on the back, but the one that you might begin with, or I think it's a good beginning, could arrive this or next year, more likely next year.
Oh, it's gonna be really cool. Yeah, that's awesome. You got so many projects going on, and I think that's gonna be really exciting. I can't wait to see them. It's gonna be really cool.
Finally see some characters that you have been waiting for so long, and then you're still going to be at the end of it. I haven't seen all the characters that I've been waiting for so long.
Yeah, that's true. But you're slowly but surely getting there, so I think that's something at least.
Yeah.
You're slowly but surely getting there. And the same goes for me too. So I think we're both getting there at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day. I see, I see. Oh man, that's cool. And next year, hopefully, we get a chance to actually meet up and everything. So that will be extra
It
cool.
will all come together. Publications, meeting up, will
Exactly.
all fit together. It's
Yeah,
going to be a big year of celebrations.
exactly. So this is gonna be awesome. I am super excited for you.
I could even sign you a book and you slip it into the bookshop in Japan.
Why not? I mean, yeah, why not? Totally. You should totally do that. Especially if it's English. I think no one will notice.
All I will notice when they suddenly, oh, I want to pay for this. Ah, we don't have this
Well,
on my inventory.
it's worth giving it to me and then letting me know because yeah, I can totally slither it in somewhere for sure. You
Oh,
just,
you will get one, and you will get it in the box with some features and some goodies, and yeah.
oh, yay. I'm VIP. It's gonna be awesome.
But for this, it's really hard to find what kind of book cover I want, because at
Mm.
times I'm like, oh, maybe I could ask someone to create like a snippet so that I know what I work towards. But it's really difficult to know what kind of design I want.
Mm. Especially designs, I think you really have to think through it. It's the most
Yeah, and
eye-catching thing, right?
especially with a series that you want to make sure it all fits with the others that are going to be published later. It
Yeah,
needs to
that's
be
true.
something that can be recreated and changed to kind of stick with that designer. And yeah.
Super off-topic question, but when it comes to the story that you mentioned about being blind, is that
Mhm.
gonna have a cover, or is it just a part of the overall um total stories that you're putting together, and that includes the actual story about the blindness, a blind character, sorry.
No, no, the cover is going to have it's going to have a cover because the blind character is not actually in the book, but no, there is a blind character in the book. Um,
It's
but
not the
there's
prominent.
also there's a side character that is blind, and also the main character is influenced by another character's blindness,
Hmm. I see, I
and
see.
so it will be tricky to get like to come make that come across. But I now have kind of a way. But this part is actually written. The one that I need to write is the color blind one. And it was really interesting to find out what color blindness all is, because not all color blindness is the same.
Right.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true. The reason why I bring that up was because I don't know, I just had this like idea where essentially
it's
what if
probably not going to be a very colorful
yeah.
cover, so
Oh,
that
for
it
sure.
fits with that. So expect it to be very gray heavy. And
Yeah.
yeah, if my favorite one that would be, I don't even know how that could even be pulled off, but I love these special editions of some old classic in the leather bounds,
Mm,
and you can feel their cover.
mm. I was gonna
And
say,
this 3D effect that would be so cool, but yeah, I don't know how to do that. I don't even know.
something like that. Like if you're blind, then that means mainly I feel like you're relying on hearing and texture of things like Braille, right?
Yeah,
So as someone who can see, I would I would be intrigued if the book had Braille on it, maybe. And then maybe the book itself is, as you said, like colorless almost. But as you also pointed out, some colorblind people don't look at color or maybe don't see color in the same way that other people do. So I
yeah.
think this
Some
was really up
some
to you, but I was just thinking that'd be
some
kind of cool.
some have like one color that they can't see, but they see all the others.
Right.
One see all black and white. Some see like a toned down version of everything, but there is color. So it was really interesting to figure that out. Like also, my granny's sister, she is blind,
Mm.
but that doesn't mean that she's 100% blind. She can see something just at the bottom when she looks like down on a
Mm.
street or to her feet. She can see that, but when
Right.
she looks straight or up, then it's all gone.
Right.
And it started with just a black spot, and that
Mm.
then enlarged.
Oh, I see, I see. Oh, I wonder. Yeah. I don't know. Just a thought. It just kind of inspired me to think about that right now when you were mentioning that. So, yeah. Food for thought.
Yeah.
I suppose if you don't mind me plugging in a little bit, I would say and then again I'll cut off whatever I was saying earlier, but I suppose,
Mhm.
but one thing I would like to mention is that I have I guess I mentioned it earlier. I made a YouTube channel with a friend who is a huge fan of Harry Potter, and I also am getting into Harry Potter again. So if you're interested, the YouTube channel is still a little mini baby. It's called Fang and Claw. Please come and check out our skits and stuff. Tee. It's still a work in progress, but we're planning on making skits, DIY arts and crafts, and showcasing some of the stuff that we're planning on showing in the skits and showing how we're gonna make it. We actually did that today actually, while we were meeting up and making a howler, so we will probably post that at some point, but yeah, and other stuff might include reviews of the actual locations we went to. And also some plays we had a chance to actually visit and some tips and tricks. So if you're interested in going to the Warner Brothers tour as well. Anyway, that's a little plug-in from me, but I hope you don't
It
mind
was
me mentioning
probably
it.
also more frequent than our podcast.
Well, it depends on, I think, how much we have time before we go back to our own adulting stuff at work, etc. But we try our best to try and find some time to work on that too. And
Yeah, you
I,
probably have to give a recipe on how to write books and do skits and do adult life.
I know, right? And
I
to be
can
fairly
tell you how
honest,
she's doing it. It's just a long wait.
yeah. I think also the fact that I think I need to get into the zone to actually do it is another
Yeah.
thing when it comes to writing, but I do my best and I try not to get too distracted so much with my other stories, so at least I can focus on that particular story since I do want to get it finished and I want my first draft to be finished before the end of the month. I mean, year, not end of the month. I mean, ideally, that would be great if it's the end of the month, but I don't think that's the case. We'll have to see. But cover-wise, I already
I
have
think
like an
our
idea.
friend I think our books can still be book besties if you manage to do the first draft this year, and then they could be all published next year and be all
Yeah,
book besties. And then
Definitely.
maybe we invite Alex if she's also finishing by then, and then we can all be book besties.
Oh yeah, for sure. I am going to continue to become a howler for her particular book as well as me becoming your howler for your particular books as well. But I feel like you may or
Oh,
may not need that howler that much.
oh no, I do.
Maybe for your other stories, yes. But not for the ones you're already planning on publishing. So well done.
Well,
Absolutely
we
well
will
done.
see. That is the plan, and then we see if it works out.
True, true, true. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that's probably it from us this time. And maybe next time. I wonder what next time is going to be. But next
Well,
time,
we hope it's for before December.
oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, since summer is coming around anyway, we will probably be talking again in a little bit after, yeah, after what, after maybe a few weeks or so, and then I think by that time summer will be here, and then the new season may or may not bring some new things coming along as well.
Yeah, and if you have questions for us, just send them in,
Oh yeah, for
and we will
sure.
answer them next time.
Especially questions about writing processes and how we're going through our overall writing stories. We may not be able to reveal many plot points, but we will try our best to answer them in to the degree. And if you're maybe, let's say, aspiring writers, then that's also kind of cool to hear from as well. So bring us up and let us know what you think in either the comments under YouTube where we're posting this and also on Spotify as well.
Yeah, or Instagram or anything, you can reach us on our
True. And
Instagram
Instagram.
profiles or Signifiers itself. We will look out for it and we'll come back to you. And yeah,
For
and the
sure.
more questions come in, the more we are haunted. That will be our howlers to come back with the next episode.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Mhm.
So leaving it with that, hope you all have a very good weekend, even though it's ending for me. And I think it's ending for you
Yeah,
along as
for
well.
me as yes.
So
But also, it's not
good
going to
week.
be revealed yet, so it could be any day of the week that you're listening to. So,
Yeah, that's true. Have a good day, guys.
bye, have a good
Uh,
time.
bye. Thanks, Yvonne. Talk to you later.
Oh, thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.